2TC is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you can complete a CHIMPS game with only 2 towers on the entire field. Let's do this today with a very, well, unexpected tower. Well, this one's obviously expected, but this one's... Trade Empire is not a very, well, offensive tower, let's just say that. But it will be one of our 2 towers in which we will deploy down in order to beat the 95 rounds in which a CHIMPS game consists of. When we reach round 9, we can get ourselves Grape Shot, which will increase the amount of projectiles that we can fire out from the Buccaneer itself from, well, at the most 2 to, well, possibly 10. Yeah, 4 grapes and 1 dart on both sides. This is what some people think they are on the internet. Oh, let's get some long range as well. We're going to need Crow's Nest because of round 24. And need Hot Shot for round 28 and round 30. Alongside the other lead rounds until we can get Tech Terror, which is when it can start popping leads, but then it removes its ability to be able to pop purple balloons outside of its ability. Tech Terror, I can't pop purple balloons. Also Tech Terror, ability in it, bruv. We're going to stick with a 022 Monkey Buccaneer for a very long time because I believe this is this is all we need actually to get through these next few set of rounds until we can afford the Super Monkey to plop down onto the field. And I do mean plop down, since there's a lot to the Super Monkey. Round 23 is done, now round 24, which is when we can place down our Super Monkey. It's funny how a 022 and a 002 and a 002 of the Dark Monkeys and Super Monkeys respectively gain the ability to pop camo balloons. That's one thing that they share. One thing that they have in common. Also the fact that they're both monkeys as well. But one of them is just bigger, beefier and super and can acquire stupid amounts of power. But then again, in certain scenarios, the Ultra Juggernaut is more powerful than the true Sun God. I'm looking at you, cases of like straight line maps, but then again, True Sun God can circumvent line of sight, thanks to it being so goddamn tall like a skyscraper. Enough of my tangent there, we're gonna knock ourselves back with those jokes, possibly, I don't know. But we've got knocked back to say the least, which will push back or slow down balloons when we hit them with our lovely darts on the Super Monkey here. A fun fact about a 041 Super Monkey, so getting knocked back with your Tech Terror ability, any surviving balloons which are not named bad will be knocked back a few pegs, which is very, very nice to have. I think it was in one of the more recent updates, not too recent, but one of the more recent updates of the game, which is quite a nice feature actually to have, an ability that corresponds with one of your upgrades, rather than just, you know, more damage. But then there are other changes which is like, just why? You made top path cheaper, but now middle path more expensive. Some changes I feel like Ninja Kiwi make because they probably have a minimal quota that they need to reach when it comes to like changes. We're not changing them because it'll make the game fundamentally better, but we need a minimal amount of changes to have so that we can actually meet our update quota of changes to be made within the game. And some changes are not very well thought out, to say the least. But then again, we can say that about a lot of things in the game. Like, let's say the big one. Its damage type has been changed from normal to explosion, but it was never put in the patch notes that the biggest one's explosion was also changed from normal to explosion. Talk about removing the first possible 2TC with the biggest one being the biggest one and Ultra Boost. Yeah, 502, the biggest one, can pop the bad layer on round 100, but then it's like, you can't even get to that stage because only the shockwave factor of the mortars actually do any damage against DDTs, and they're like 1 damage. Like, why would you rely on that to try and pop DDTs when you can't pop them? Even when they are decamouflaged so that it can actually be targeted by the shockwave. Like, some changes I just don't get. Like, I appreciate the big one being cheaper and all that, and each of its shells doing 8 damage rather than 7, but it's like, you make these changes just so that, like, what's it going to be one day that the anti-balloon is no longer going to be the normal type, or the flying fortress is no longer going to be the normal type with both its darts and bombs? It's like, There are so many things which I feel like Ninja Kiwi are trying to rinse out just so that you have more power per balloon, or sorry, more power per attack. But it's like you're removing a lot of its unique fundamentals in order to actually get it to a point where it's actually quite self-sufficient on its own. Like, let's say in a 2TC scenario, but then again, 2TC and 2 Megapops is a very, very niche portion of the community. It's like not everyone is going out of their way to get a 2TC or a 2MP of any kind, or a No Harvest, or a Josh's Constant, which I've never done before on the channel. But it's like some things I feel like are not thought out, but it's like, we'll pen this on and see what happens, see what everyone else thinks, and if nobody is dismissing, then we're just going to go through with it. We're going to get Tech Terror after round 62, just because there are a lot of purples around 62. And just to be abundantly clear, I don't hold any resentment towards anybody at Ninja Kiwi, or hold any resentment towards anybody at Ninja Kiwi that makes certain choices within the game that I'm not a big fan of. Like, I always work with what I have in front of me rather than what could it be. But so some changes, I am allowed to be honest with my opinion. And when I think a change is otherwise controversial, I will point it out. I think the only time I've kind of pointed a controversial change really is when Ninja Kiwi decided with the release of the Goliath Doom ship that we're going to limit the number of paragons that you can have on the field to 3, regardless of what game modes you are playing. You could be easy standard or hard chimps. It doesn't matter which game mode you are playing. You are constricted within any game mode, and the only way you can circumvent that paragon limit was to install a mod which bypassed the limit there, which to me is not fun. I would rather not rely on a mod in order to circumvent something that was once within the game, which is a fundamental part of it now. Anyways, that's me going off on a tangent about a particular change I didn't really like. Again, not hold any grudges or anything like that, because at the end of the day, life is too short to hold grudges. I think life itself is just, well, every day we tackle one at a time, but there's always going to be that factor of, well, we need to see what we can do within a week's time. What can we do within a month's time? Every single day is like a game of chimps, except every day is just one round of chimps. I just hope I don't meet the bad rounds sooner rather than later when it comes to just life in general. Balloons is life in a nutshell. Confirmed. Anyways, we're on round 63. Am I enough? Have I done enough when it comes to my tangents? Possibly for now, but definitely not going to be the last time, because that is the cycle of life. We have stuff that we love to talk about, and it's always going to be a thing in which we will talk about on the channel. Because I prefer to be honest rather than putting on a business suit and having business language and only ever saying something very, very briefly because I'm under a contract or anything like that. No, I hate that kind of stuff because it doesn't feel human. It makes you feel like an automaton, that you have to abide by a set of rules just like a programming language does. And I kind of get it, actually, because you want to have a job at the end of the day and rather not spill out what you want to, what you have in mind. But for me, I'm a person of honesty, and when I feel like I've screwed up on something, so a while ago, I gave Sai the incorrect pronouns, and people pointed that out for me, and I looked up and started thinking, okay, I was wrong about that, and I did address that. So therefore, going forward, I know now that that is the case. Some people say it's a monkey game that involves popping balloons. It doesn't matter, but there are those that do care. And my statement at that time was obviously to those that were a little bit affected by it. Not like in a if this person doesn't address this, then I'm not going to be able to live, that kind of thing. It's more or less to just quell any kind of volcanoes that might erupt when it comes to that sort of stuff, because I think ignorance is better than stupidity, because there is a cure for ignorance, but there's never ever really a cure for stupidity. Stupidity is when you do know something but you double down on that quote-unquote ignorance factor. We are saving up for the anti-balloon next, and there's one other thing so I'd like to talk about. It's something a bit more personal, but it's something that I've noticed recently, and it's to me personally, and that is, I've been noticing a constant ringing sound in my head for quite a while now, but only recently that ringing has become much louder and more noticeable, to a point where sometimes I don't sleep well at night. And that's just because of this noticeable ringing. It's not annoying or anything like that, but it's getting to a point where it's become from noticeable to both noticeable and irritating. So I need to I need to call the doctors on that little factor there, because it is quite annoying. But it also could be something that could be neurologically bad later on in life. Round 78, let's just use the wonderful annihilation ability there from the Tech Terror. The reading is like in the middle of my head, but it's like slightly to the right. Oh, some purple balloons, that's no good. Can we? Okay, let's just pop the rest. I should have used that ability a different time of a round. Actually, putting you on first might be a big factor. But still, I need to use our annihilation ability here. Yeah, let's just... for goodness sakes, these purples. It's not the huge amount of ceramics which are the issue. It's these purple balloons. If we could have kept our hot shot at grape shot, then our grapes would be able to pop purples. But when you change them from grape to hot, it then becomes a fire attack rather than a sharp attack. Okay, let's just use that venom there. I wish the Dark Monkey would use... So, not the Dark Monkey. The Buccaneer would shoot its dart straight rather than at the side at times. Okay, round 79. We have ourselves a huge amount of regrow rainbows and some BFBs to combat. Many of the last two BFBs are more of a concern because they're fortified rather than being unfortified. No fortified. The thing that spawns first around 60 without the outer shell heal. Heal. I don't want them to heal. I don't want their health to regenerate. Thank you very much. Has there ever been talks about the regrow fortified... the regrow ceramic that spawns out of a DET regrowing back into a DET? That would be frightening. Please don't implement that, Ninja Kiwi. Round 80, with a bit of timing, we can instantly wipe the ZMG away from the field. Let's see, the Finns have got the bandage, so we'll just use it then and there. By not getting Merchant Man and Favorite Trades now, we can afford the Anti-Bloon sooner, which I think will make the difference when it comes to certain rounds. Like going from a just about success to a definite success by getting the Anti-Bloon sooner. But also, we could be on track here for a 2TC 2MP. When the fortified BFBs have made their way further down here, we will initiate the ability, just like that, instantly wiping them off the screen. Isn't it beautiful when you just see a bunch of balloons on the screen and then with a single click of a button, you can just wipe them away off the screen? 84 has this bunch of problems to try and deal with. Let's just use the ability now to split apart these remaining balloons, because sometimes the dispersion of the remaining ones can be quite important when it comes to getting your ability back. Because sometimes you don't want to pop all of the balloons, you want to leave some left so that you have a bit more time for your ability to recharge for the next round. I'm talking about you, the likes of round 97, with your huge amount of RBE per balloon, with your 2 ZMGs. Shall we time this? Are we going to do this well? Yeah, they're both almost instantly wiped. About second ZMG left. I waited for Finns to be bandaged, and it did happen, but unfortunately it didn't instantly wipe it. It made it go down to ceramics, which is really odd. Because it doesn't instantly wipe it, then it usually just skips to the next child layer. So, from ZMGs to BFBs in this case. But obviously it did enough damage to skip 2 lots of layers, but not every single layer. 85 has 2 ZMGs. This round has 4 ZMGs. Okay. Okay, so the first one's bandaged. The second one's bandaged. The third one's bandaged. What about the fourth one? Yeah, that one's bandaged, and now they were all wiped out. That must have been the third use of that cycle of Protect ability which we used there. Because if you didn't know, every third time you use the Tecto ability, it's 50% more powerful than it would normally otherwise be, which can make the difference in some scenarios. Let's get you all strong for a moment and just target these remaining straggling balloons up here. Alright, are we going to use the ability? Yeah, we'll use it actually, and that's actually quite a good use of it because we removed the majority of the strength of the CMGs there, but still, there's these remaining ceramics in all of it. We didn't instantly wipe, but we got our ability back sooner rather than later. Let's wait for these BFBs to come down here, and yoink, let's remove them from existence. Round nicely. So the only hiccup so far being round 78, which is honestly a hiccup in and of itself. So remove the DETs from that round there. Oh, this round could be pretty tricky with all of these super fortified ceramics. Ceramics only given the name super after round 80 because it takes many more hits to go through their ceramic layer. Let's see. We're very close now to the anti-balloon. I'm very surprised about that fact. Oh, we could get on round 92 actually. This is very good. But still, there's our ability here, and the fact we've got all of these fortified Moabs to try and deal with. That is going to be a bit of a issue here, honestly. Can we get our... anti-balloon ability back? I'll take their ability back. Okay, we need you on close. We need you to target as many of these fortified as we possibly can. We're so close to it now. 15 more. Yes, we got the anti-balloon. I feel sorry for these balloons now that we've got this super weapon. It essentially is a super weapon. I've just pressed the nuclear option, and now we have this mutated from the remains of the surviving tech terror. Also, it barks as well. Just look at it. It's barking mad. We might have the possibility of a 2 Megapops here as well. This has got 7k left until it can actually get 42k, which is the maximum amount of pops you would feel like you can have on any lingering balloons in order to actually get 2 Megapops with a particular tower. So this can hit DDTs with its grape shots. It's like, if you think about it, with the Pyro Lord, the only thing that can damage the DDT outside of its hooks is the grape shot when it has hot shots on it. Like, the only fire part about it. It's like there's no burning cannons which would benefit it because then it'd be both an explosion and a fire attack. The explosion dealing with purples and the fire dealing with DDTs. No, only the grape parts gets the hot shot aspect of it. I wish that was a change actually. Make the cannons flaming. And let's nuke these out of existence just like that. Round 98. Let's put you on last for some dispersion of your graves, even though ultimately it doesn't matter. Like, we could leave this without upgrading to Trade Empire, but there's only very few moments in where you will see a Trade Empire outside of, let's say, a Boston area. Let's see, round 99. There goes the fortified DDTs, and there they go, lovely. Round 100. Let us get ourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Trade Empire up and running now. And this thing will not stand a chance anymore. Like, when we get the anti-balloon ability back next, we're just going to instantly wipe this screen off the map. Just like that. A 2 tower chimps, 2 Megapop scenario. If you're able to apply this on a normal game, and you're able to make 78 work, round 78, then this is definitely going to get you both achievements. The 2TC achievement and the 2 Megapops achievement. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been a 2 Tower Chimps with the Trade Empire and the Anti-Balloon. And a 2 Megapops with the Anti-Balloon. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what other scenarios you'd like to see me do on the channel. There we go. I didn't intend to actually get the 2 Megapops. It's like, I kind of looked at the Buccaneer at that given point in time. I was like, this could actually do it. Like, the Anti-Balloon could get the 2 Megapops here. And I'm kind of glad I kind of just stuck with a 022 until the very end when it comes to the Buccaneer aspect. I didn't want to just settle for a base buck. I wanted the big buck. Thank you all so much for watching and take care of yourselves, everybody.